Okay, let's go over this first section, 6.1. I'll just do some notes, so to help you get these questions answered. I won't answer them all, but I'll do what I can do to get you started. Hopefully, you'll look at the lessons, and they'll teach you whatever else you need. So if we're looking for the midpoint, we need the 2 points. So W is the point 0, 2, and Y is the point 6, 6. Okay, so to find the midpoint, the trick is you find the average of the X values and then find the average of the Y values. That's supposed to be a Y. Right? So to find the average of the X values, you just add them together, 0 plus 6 divided by 2. And to find the average of the Y, you add those together, 2 plus 6 divided by 2. And you'll get a point. And that point will be the answer. Okay, I'll let you finish it up. On the next one, how can you prove a triangle is a right triangle? Well, the key to right triangles is you need to find, to check to see if the slopes are perpendicular slopes. Because if you can find 2 perpendicular sides, then you'll know it's a right triangle because right triangles have 2 perpendicular sides. So, like for example, if the slope of one side is 2/3, the perpendicular slope would be -3/2. You flip it and change the sign for a perpendicular slope. Also, if the slope of one side is vertical, meaning there's no slope, a line that's perpendicular to a vertical line is a horizontal line, and that slope would be 0. So you can't flip no slope and change the sign and get 0. It just doesn't make sense. So that's the exception of perpendicular lines. You could have perpendicular and horizontal. I'm sorry, vertical and horizontal. It's impossible to have a triangle with parallel sides, so that's silly. But parallel slopes are the same. Perpendicular slopes are opposite reciprocals. If all 3 sides are congruent, then it's equilateral, not a right triangle. The slope formula is definitely used. Okay, let's check out number 3. So we're supposed to, with those 3 points, decide if the triangle formed by those 3 points is a right triangle or an equilateral triangle. So let's just plot the points, just get an estimation of it. If you plot 1, 4, it's something like that. If you do 3, 1, something like that. And if you do 6, that's 3, that's 6, 3, 1, 2, 3. It doesn't look like, it could be right, could be equilateral, so I really don't know. So boy, if it's a right triangle, then 2 sides are perpendicular. If it's equilateral, then all 3 sides are the same. So the question is, are we going to use the distance formula or the slope formula? A, B, C. Let's quickly just burn through the slope formula, find the slope of AB, and just check. The slope of AB is, remember the slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So the slope y2 and It's 1 minus 4 over 3 minus 1, which is -3 halves. And then the slope of BC, is that what I was going to find? AB and BC, yeah. That slope is BC, 3 minus 1, 6 minus 3. That's the slope 2 over +3. And since those slopes are opposite reciprocals, meaning if you flip it and change the signs, they're perpendicular, that means this is our right triangle. I probably would have checked the other slope because it's easy to check slopes. I know for sure it's not equilateral because you can't be a right triangle and equilateral. If the triangle is equilateral, then all three angles are 60 degrees because 60 plus 60 plus 60 is 180. So I know for sure if it's got a right angle, that means this angle is 90, not 60. So it's definitely not equilateral. Okay, so follow the following coordinates represents which figure. Now I think you can tell which quadrilateral it is just based on slope, because a parallelogram the opposite sides are congruent. Opposite sides are parallel if we're talking about slopes. If it's a rhombus, it's a parallelogram with perpendicular diagonals. If it's a rectangle, it's a parallelogram with perpendicular sides. And if it's a square, it's a rhombus and a rectangle. And if it's a trapezoid, there's only one side, one pair of parallel sides. So we can do all this with slope. I'm just going to really quickly plot the points. 1, 1, 1, 4. 5, 4. 5, 1. Oh, well, this will be quick and easy. This side is 4 because it goes from 1 to 5. This side is, this left side is 1, 1. What's this one? 4, 3. This is 4. This is 3. So this is not a square, but all these sides are perpendicular just because of the way it's graphed. So the answer to this is definitely a rectangle. You know what? Sometimes just graphing it is enough. If you have graph paper and you want to make sure you should graph on graph paper. But that worked out pretty well. And quadrilateral. So we have to figure out which one this is also. Hopefully this one's not as easy. 3, 5 is A. B is 5, 2. C is 8, 4. D is 6, 7. Okay. So, because opposite sides are congruent and adjacent sides are perpendicular, let's just find the slopes. Slope of AB, I'll be able to figure this out quickly. Slope of AB is 2 minus 5 over 5 minus 3. That's negative 3 halves. The slope of BC is 4 minus 2, 8 minus 5. 2. So those are perpendicular slopes. So this is looking good so far. The slope of CD um, 7 minus 4, 6 minus 8. That's 3 over negative 2, so that's negative 3 halves. So it's parallel to AB because they have the same slopes. And then the slope of AD. AD. So it's 7 minus 5, 6 minus 3. So that is 7 minus 5 is 2. So that is parallel to the one that's opposite. So this is at least a rectangle. It could be a square. So I'm going to check the diagonals because the square's diagonals are perpendicular. Same thing with a rhombus. So let's find the slope of AC. I think slopes are easy to find. 4 minus 5. 8 minus 3. That looks like it's negative 1 fifth. And then the slope of BD. It's the other diagonal. 7 minus 2, 6 minus 5. 7 minus 2 is 5. 6 minus 5 is 1. Those are perpendicular. So it's definitely a square. And if we measured the lengths of all the sides, we definitely would get the same numbers. But yeah, it's definitely a square. And that's it. Well, I did more than I probably wanted to, but that's probably okay. You can find which quadrilateral it is just by using slope most of the time when you're working with them. When you're working with coordinates. So anyway, hopefully that helped you. Have a good day.